Okay, going to try to be really fast here. First assignment, this page, loops. My equivalent is this. Um, let's resize it. See, everything stays together. This is just an exercise in laying out these div tags with separations. If you look at the code, it's very simple. Let's see, loops, HTML. You see my HTML is very clear, very straight. Use classes and just the element names themselves for all the styling. So if we go and look at the CSS, I try to keep my CSS organized with classes and entities separate from all the divs. Then I put the divs together down the page. I use alphabetical uh, sorting on all the different styles so that I can find stuff when I'm looking for it. The other thing is I love using Notepad. I like the ability to fold things up. You can see I got some spaces in here. This was the first assignment, so I didn't realize I need to keep that out of there so you won't see it on the other projects. And the second one was power to serve, and that's what we were given. And here's what I came up with. You can see it looks pretty good. One thing I'll say is I missed some spacing over here on the right. I redid that, but this is the one that I turned in, so it's one to look at. And if we look at it smaller, you can see it kind of does that. Now that I know more about what they want, I would change this to be two fixed length divs so they would stay next to each other. But at the time, I was trying to think in terms of, okay, lock down one side, not the other. So that's one thing I would probably change. But for the most part, I think I did well on this. Third one, this is the word stream. This one I think I did pretty well on. Here's my version. You can see everything looks equivalent. Probably the only thing that I didn't do according to what they seem to want, and here I'll resize again. You can see everything stays together very nicely. These are all active, so this is text and real buttons. It's not just a picture. The only thing I did is this word stream up here is all one image. I could put in the word stream as text if I needed to. And then the last one, this guy, the lube. This is pretty much an exercise in divs. I've got one div going around the outside, and then the banner, nav, and then I put in a spacer, and then this bottom part I nested two divs so I could get this nice separation here, and then contain everything else in an inner container. And then each one of these individual boxes is a div, and even this one going through the middle is a div that I put like a zero margin on and made it the same color as the inner box, or yeah, the outer box background, so that it all looks the same. The other thing that was cool on this one was these bottom boxes. They've all got the same heading. This is just a heading with a background, and then the picture, and then a paragraph. And what I did to line everything up is the header and the picture obviously have the same dimensions, but then the paragraph I also locked its dimension down too, so that when I put the button in at the bottom, and this is just an image used for the button, I could line them all up in the same place. So that way, when I flip over to this, and when we resize it, you can see that the buttons stay nice and on the same line, and everything stays locked together. You can eventually get to like the overflow, but you see everything still lines up correctly. So I think I did pretty well on this one also. And the only other thing I'll say is I kept my tools very simple. I used paint for most of the going in and getting the colors. And so I would come in here and use the color extraction tool, and also to measure things. I just like using paint because it's simple. Didn't try to be too exact with that kind of stuff, and I just used a calculator to convert from hex and the decimal value that I would get out of paint. I would just use a calculator to convert it, and then I used a real simple website to help generate these gradients. So I would get the color at the start and the color to the middle, and then I would create the little PNG file, and then I would use the CSS way of creating these gradients. So that's it.